This is GO-MMT Radio.
GO-MMT Radio. Let's go.
Powered by Make My Trip, Go IBBO and Redbus.
Trips don't lie. On GO-MMT Radio.
हेलो एंड वेलकम टू अ ब्रांड न्यू शो ऑफ GO-MMT रेडियो। मेरा नाम है सोनू। आज हमारे शो पे हम ना आपको एक अलग जगह पे ले जाने वाले हैं वर्चुअली। हाँ, मतलब वर्चुअल का ही ज़माना है। सो वी आर गोइंग टू गो टू अ प्लेस, ऑल ऑफ अस आर गोइंग टू गो टुगेदर। इनफैक्ट ये कौन सी जगह है इसके बारे में आपको थोड़ी सी क्लूज दे देती हूँ। दिस प्लेस हैज़ द 4th लॉन्गेस्ट रिवर सिस्टम इन द वर्ल्ड। विश्व की सबसे बड़ी इकोनॉमी जो है वो ये देश है, और इस देश के जो झंडे हैं देयर आर 27 वर्जन्स ऑफ इट। आपने शायद गेस कर लिया होगा, हम वहीं जा रहे हैं। हाँ, सफर थोड़ा लंबा हो सकता है लेकिन मजेदार होगा। सो दैट्स हैपनिंग ऑन आवर सेगमेंट ट्रिप्स डोंट लाई। वी हैव गॉट Tivish Allabadi with us. Hi Tivish, how are you doing?
Hi Sonu, I'm good. How are you?
I am good. And how does it feel to be back from almost like a 15-day holiday?
It feels awesome to be back in office, but yeah, I'm missing the US right now.
Now that's honesty, because you know, obviously when you go that long for a holiday, you start missing things. And I've been told that you had been to US. Of course, we will talk about everything that is, American in the show in a short while from now. But tell me, what was your reason for the visit?
So primarily I had visited for my sister's graduation. She was graduating this year. And that was the prime reason that I visited. And also we visited some places apart from where my sister is living.
Right. And was it your first visit to the US, Tivish?
Yes, this was my first visit.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. तो जैसे बॉलीवुड फिल्म्स में हम देखते हैं, you know, when the plane lands in the US, there is this background music that's going on. Something like that happened?
Not as such. But yes, when exiting the airport, I definitely got that feeling.
मतलब इंडिया आने वाली फीलिंग?
Yes, मतलब US में लैंड करने वाली फीलिंग कि US में लैंड करके wow.
Of course. Tivish, since you are in Gurgaon, I think you received a good welcome while coming back. ना बारिश हो रही थी, right?
Yes. Actually, जब मैं आया था तब नहीं हो रही थी, but yes, the weather was good.
They had to live up to the American weather that you were almost used to for the last 15 days. So Tivish, you had gone there for your sister's graduation. Which are the places that you covered while you were in the US?
So primarily, I went to Chicago first, and from Chicago we went to New York City. From New York City we went to New Jersey, and from New Jersey we went again to Buffalo and then back to Chicago. So
you went to the quintessential American places. मतलब जो places आपने visit करनी होती है, you have visited that. But we will be talking about that, of course. लेकिन how was your flight journey? How smooth was it? And what were the tests that you had to get done before boarding the flight?
So before boarding the flight from India to US, basically we had to get 24-hour before RT-PCR test, and that was the prime requirement for traveling from India to US. Considering coming to the flight journey, I think since I took a direct flight from India to the US, so that was quite hectic, a 15-hour long flight. So yeah.
Jet lag is such a big thing, when you go on these long flights, and of course you had your sister's graduation to attend, and it gets very irritating, beyond a point. So what would be your tip to fight the jet lag, or how to get over it?
So I think the best way to fight jet lag would be to actually, when you're landing in the US, to actually spend the entire day doing something else and not sleeping. The prime thing would be to just spend the whole day doing anything and everything apart from sleeping.
Tivish, now the quintessential question, and I want to know this: which pizza was better, Chicago deep pan pizza or the New York style pizza?
I think I tried both of them, but I think the New York pizza was the best amongst the two.
Yeah. So that is Tivish's review of the pizza. So tell me, Tivish, what did you do in Chicago? What were the places that you visited?
So basically, Chicago, we visited the Bean, which is at the Millennium Park. Right. And apart from that, we also visited the Magnificent Mile, which is along the river. And we also did one architectural boat tour, which described the beauty of Chicago buildings.
Right. And how was the weather in Chicago when you went there?
I think Chicago, as you all know, is known as the windy city.
Yes.
So the weather was kind of chilling weather. Basically, a temperature would be around 15 or 16 degrees Celsius with a lot of wind.
Right.
So, yeah.
So Tivish, you went to Chicago. Then in New York, New York is such a vibrant city, जब हम फिल्मों में देखते हैं, or if anyone of has visited, you feel that, it's not just a city, it's almost like a world, because you have people from different countries living there, and उनका culture भी है काफी, vibrant है. So obviously, I am assuming you went to Times Square. And
yes.
You went to Central Park. But tell me, what was your favorite place in the entire city of New York?
I think the favorite place which I think was Times Square, since it's such a happening place with people from all over the globe visiting that place and doing everything and anything, like dancing on the streets and doing street shows and all.
And, of course, you must have visited the Statue of Liberty. Now, you tell us, how exactly does one plan a trip to Statue of Liberty?
So visiting the Statue of Liberty, there are various options. You can take a ferry, and we actually did a boat cruise, which included everything, including the Statue of Liberty and the Brooklyn Bridge and the Manhattan Bridge. So you could actually plan by taking a boat cruise to visit the statue.
And if you had to tell us your top 3 places in New York to visit, what would that be?
I think the first place would be Times Square, as it is my favorite place. The second would be the Brooklyn Bridge, and the third would be the Edge, which is an observation deck located on the 101st floor, wherein you can get a whole view of the New York skyline.
When we plan a holiday to the US, it's practically not possible to cover an entire country because it's a huge country. And isme bhi you have managed to cover quite a lot of places. You went to Chicago, New York, then you went to Niagara Falls. Now, what kind of budget should one plan for when they plan a trip to the US?
I think the budget would mainly depend on the kind of places you want to visit. Right. And since New York being one of the most expensive cities in the world, so you have to plan accordingly. And you can't define a particular budget for your trip, but yes, it depends a lot on the kind of places you book, the kind of hotels you book, and the kind of flights you take.
Absolutely. But what would be a good time to book your flight tickets to the US? मतलब हमारे trip के कितने महीने पहले you would advise that we book our flights?
I think anywhere between 3 to 4 months would be a good time to actually book your tickets, since उस time पे you get a lot cheaper tickets than while booking at the time of your trip.
Right, absolutely. And of course, you went to the Niagara Falls. How was that like?
I think Niagara Falls is another amazing nature's beauty, and that is sure the place that you want to visit in the US. Right. And especially the boat tour that is there, the Made of the Mist boat tour, which happens at the Niagara Falls, that is another experience.
When it comes to American cuisine, all I can think of is these really big portion when it comes to food, be it pizza or burger or anything. लेकिन आप मुझे बताएं कि आपने नया क्या try किया in your trip to the US?
I think नया तो as such नहीं try किया. There was this one thing which I tried, which is known as falafel, since I am a vegetarian. So
you are a vegetarian. That's amazing. So मैं काफी tips ले सकती हूँ आपसे, because I would like to know that मैं क्या खा सकती हूँ when I go to the US. So yeah, you had falafel, and then?
Yes, and finding a veg burger at McDonald's is a pretty difficult task there, since you cannot find a vegetarian burger in any of the outlets. The only thing that you can rely is on fries and the Pepsi and all. That's it. And apart from that, coming to the American cuisine, I think the pizza which I tried at New York was the best food that I tried in the US.
Right. So, and one of the most frequently visited places when I think of US is the Cheesecake Factory. Did you get to go there?
Unfortunately, I could not visit.
Arey. I've heard that the Cheesecake Factory में जो cheesecake मिलता है, it is almost 2,300 calories. One slice of cheesecake, and I'm so intrigued by that, क्योंकि अगर आपने ये खा लिया तो आपके जो पूरे दिन का कैलोरी इंटेक है, it's like coming from just one slice of cake, which is amazing. I think मतलब holiday is all about eating all sorts of wrong things and coming back and then working out so that you can shed off that. So yeah, we are finally down to the last part of our conversation on Trips Don't Lie right here on GO-MMT Radio. I'm in conversation with Tivish Allabadi. He's a senior product analyst, just returned from his trip to the US. So now I'm going to ask you everything that is US, okay? आपको जल्दी आंसर करना है हमारे rapid fire round में, okay?
Sure.
The rapid fire round.
One thing that impressed you a lot about the US?
The amazing culture and the vibrant people of the US.
One thing you wish you hadn't done in your trip?
The one thing which I hadn't done would be to not visit so less places. I would want to visit a lot more places while visiting the US.
Right. And according to you, what is the minimum number of days one should take off when they go to US?
I think a minimum of 3 weeks would be the best to visit, to plan out a trip to the
Right.
US.
What was the best thing about New York City?
The best thing was Times Square.
Yes, I can see that आप बहुत ज़्यादा impressed हो गए हैं when it comes to Times Square. What was your worst meal like in the US and what did you have?
There was no such worst meal as such. I think I liked all of them.
One thing about US that shocked you?
The thing that shocked was, I think people dancing on the streets, in the subway, and everywhere they could find a place to.
Acha, and is it a very expensive country, Tivish? Do we have to plan a lot before we go?
I think depends on the kind of places that you're visiting. For example, New York is one of the most expensive cities. So yes.
Yes, so it's better कि आप थोड़ी सी planning कर लें. Probably book your tickets 3-4 months in advance, as Tivish said, and of course go for a longer period because बहुत मेहनत करके आप वहाँ पे जा रहे हैं. So might as well enjoy some part of the US. I hope you had a great holiday, Tivish. Thank you so much for talking to us, and I wish कि आप और such holidays करें. And we will be talking to you again once you're back from your next holiday. But for now, thank you so much for joining us.
Sure. Thank you, Sonu. Thanks a lot.
Up next, we have our lovely Go Tripper. But for now, it's time for me to wrap up the show. And हम मिलेंगे जल्दी. Until we meet next time, stay healthy, stay safe. Then I'll see you tomorrow, right? This is me, Sonu, signing off. You guys have a great day ahead.
जादू किया रे नैनों ने थारी कैसा जादू किया रे थारे बिना लागे नहीं मारा जिया रे ओ थारे बिना लागे नहीं मारा जिया रे पिया रे पिया रे पिया रे पिया रे थारे बिना लागे नहीं मारा जिया रे ओ थारे बिना लागे नहीं मारा जिया रे थारे बिन मोहे चैन न आवे धक 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 मोरा जिया घबरावे थारे बिन मोहे चैन न आवे धक 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 मोरा जिया घबरावे सुनने बांसुरिया बोल सांवरिया सुन रे बांसुरिया बोल सांवरिया थारे बिना मोहे कुछ नहीं भावे पिया रे पिया रे पिया रे पिया रे थारे बिना लागे नहीं मारा जिया रे हो थारे बिना लागे नहीं मारा जिया रे.
To listen to your favorite Go-MMT radio from anywhere, follow us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram. Visit the Go-MMT radio page for daily updates and enjoy listening to your favorite radio channel.